Good morning, T-Wolves. Mr. Quentin here with what we did for Monday, March 1st, 2021. So hope you had a nice weekend. We are definitely climbing into our new unit on or subunit, if you will, of human rights. We're getting into that. Now, you'll remember on Friday, we did watch a video and have a brief conversation about human rights. And so we are going to do a little bit more exploring of that. And so here's what we are. Here's where we are. Of course, we're pretending we're first period. You, of course, are going to go to your period as always. Head on down to quarter 3. Jump on into week of March 1st. And take a look at Monday, where you will see that we have one thing to do. Here it is. We are going to fill out this document right here. Okay. So you're going to need to have this attachment here, which is the document of what are human rights. And folks, we're just kind of talking about reiterating the things that we went over on Friday, but really going over the reading to take a look at what human rights look like and the history of human rights. You'll see that we had the idea that people should not be slaves, let's say, started in 539 BC. So literally 2,500 years ago, there was a guy in the area of Babylon, which is in the Middle East, a guy by the name of Cyrus the Great. He freed all the slaves after he conquered this area. And he also said that people should have their own religion. So you can see that there has always been an idea that people should have the right to exist freely. So you can see kind of the history here of it, that there was the Magna Carta in 1215 that was in England. It started to limit the ability of the king to rule. We have in 1628, we have a version of that, which is the Petition of Right, which gives an idea that rights are inalienable, which means they're not removable. They're just part of you. That has an idea that rights are of like that. Sorry, folks. That the rights are for just you. And anyone, really. We, of course, have the Declaration of Independence. We then have the Bill of Rights, which, as you should recall, are hopefully you said, first 10 amendments of our Constitution. We also have a French document that says that there are rights for all of mankind and for citizens, that they should just have rights. Finally, we have what was covered in the video, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Once we have done our reading, remember, folks, break down the reading, what I always call the chunking. Just take a moment, read each mini paragraph, give yourself a moment to absorb it, move to the next. Stop, absorb, read, move on. Okay? Once you've gotten done reading, we will then go into our actual assignment. Now, this is daily work, so don't worry about the points per se, but this is something I'm going to ask you to be reviewing for our test next week. It's a simple human rights question and answer. So think back to the video on Friday. Think about what we did in class today with our reading and our discussion, and answer these following questions and prompts. And I am asking for at least 2 complete and complex sentences, which means you can use more, but I'm looking for at least 2. I've got the first one here. Please define human rights in your own words and explain why you believe that your definition fits. You can see here, especially if you pause it, that I have answered these questions, and you'll be able to see what I'm looking for. I'm going to go ahead and read this first one here for you. I feel that the best definition of human rights would be that everyone has the inalienable right to exist freely. This definition fits because existing freely means you can live your life how you best see fit to do so. let's see here. Why do you believe that human rights are important? I believe that human rights are important because without them, we would have total anarchy. How can we learn to live peacefully if we are unable to allow people to exist freely? Everyone would just fight to exist in a way that would dominate those who lose. So I have 5 questions here for you, or prompts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, please feel free to pause if you would like to look over the exemplar answers. And if you scroll down a little bit further, you'll see that there is in blue a pre-AP GT extension. So if you're not a pre-AP GT student, don't worry. If you are, I am asking for this. In your opinion, do you believe that there is one human right that is more important than others? If so, which one? And if not, why not? Now, personally, I subscribe to the idea of universality, which is what we saw in the video on Friday. So I made sure to share that. I believe that there is a universality to human rights. Trying to put one over the other may lead to unforeseen complications in enforcing them all. By having every right share equal importance, it makes it easier to allow all people to exist freely. Now, you might feel differently. Maybe you feel the same, but for a different reason. So let me know. That is all we have going on for today. Please remember that this is due by 11:59 p.m. If you have any questions, as always, send me a note in school or just send me an email. Other than that, I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Mr. Quinton, out.